Beautiful people, welcome back to our channel and thank you so much for joining the channel today. So guys, let's talk a bit about studies in Malta. For those of you who do not know, my name is Milton. Thank you so much for joining. And if you intend to study in Malta, some people call it Malta, but I'm going to be calling it Malta. Okay, I'm following the spelling. So thank you guys. So if you intend to move to Malta, understand that Malta is a country in the Schengen zone. Of course, your visa, all right, your visa is going to permit you move in between 25 countries. Like if you want to go for holidays from Malta within other countries, you can move 25 countries with no regrets. So that is the location of Malta. There are a lot of reasons why you should move to Malta, and also I'm going to be talking about some of the reasons why you should study in Malta, or some of the reasons why you should relocate to Malta. I mentioned studies because study pathway is usually the easiest and the best to take. Yeah, so to some people it may not be the best, but to some others it should be the best. But to me, the easiest pathway ever should be the study pathway. It may be expensive, but of course you have to bring out some money. So like I always say, if you want to study abroad, you need to consider a lot of things. And if you must study abroad, Google should be your friend. First, if you want to relocate to Malta, there are a lot of reasons you should consider. And I'm going to be telling you some of the reasons why you should move to Malta. And again, if you want to study in Malta, remember that you have to make Google your friend. Google is going to help you check the schools and the location of the school. Google is going to help you check the tuition fee of the various institutions. And of course, still on Google, you are going to know the courses available and the requirements available. Then after that, you make a decision. So Google is a very key factor here. So guys, let's take a look at some of the reasons why you should consider Malta as a country to relocate to. First, remember, Malta is a small island. Like I always say, countries which are island are usually very beautiful, or countries that are located like an island. Any place that is an island is usually very beautiful because of the beaches and a whole lot of others. But as a small island it is, Malta is also a Schengen country, or a country in the Schengen zone. Like I already explained to you, it's going to permit you, the visa you are going to get will permit you move from at least in between 25 countries or more. How many countries are there in the Schengen zone? You already know what I'm talking about. Then if you are thinking that language barrier may disturb you, or language may be a hindrance to you to immigrate to Malta, I want to tell you that the language in Malta is Maltese, and they also speak English. So you shouldn't bother yourself that you are thinking of moving to Malta because the language may be Maltese, like in Germany where they speak German, in Austria where there is German, in Norway when they have their language, Denmark. Then see, at the end of the day, all these countries that I list to you, that I just dropped here now, they also have people who speak English. So language should not be a barrier in case you want to relocate to Malta or any other country in the Schengen zone. Even in Spain, though their language is Spanish, but there are people who speak English. So definitely English is not going to be a very big problem to you. Now, remember, tuition fee to study abroad is usually not that cheap, but in Malta, it is quite affordable. It may not be that cheap, but it's quite affordable. How much do you have to pay in most Maltese university? You can pay between 5,000 to like 9,000, 10, 11, or even 12,000 euros per year. But now, remember, all this money you cannot pay at once. You may be asked to pay at once. You may be asked to pay 50%, but you can negotiate. That is taking me to the next point, where Malta can allow you pay your tuition in installments. Yes, it's also very possible in Malta to pay your tuition in installments. So you have to understand that only Malta, if you want to study in Malta, you also need to check the duration of the course, the tuition fee involved, the requirements before you apply. In Malta, you can study diplomas, you can study bachelors, you can study masters. So please put all this into consideration. Another reason why you should consider moving to Malta is, like I already explained to you, they offer 3 different field of studies: diplomas, BSc, masters, and PhDs. Then you should also consider Malta because of the visa process. Now, when you get admissions, let's talk a little more about this visa process, because a lot of people have been asking me, unlike in Canada and other countries, maybe Germany and other places, where it takes like maybe 12 weeks to get admissions in some colleges and universities, and it equally takes like maybe 3 months to get a visa, 2 months, 1 month to get a visa. With Malta, it is relatively easy. Within 2 weeks maximum, you can move to Malta. Not 2 weeks, I beg your pardon, 2 months, 1 month maximum, 2 months maximum, you are already going to Malta. And the process has to be done using Identity Malta. This is the organization or the people in charge of your visa application. Not like the Canada admissions that take a long time. So time for visa processing and time for admissions is relatively short. So you have to consider all this, put everything into consideration before you start any application, because if you do not consider this, it's going to be a very big hindrance for you. Another thing is, you should also understand that when you are doing the application, it's going to take you some time and maybe some effort when it comes to money. Like, there is an application fee to consider. You also need to submit documents. You also need to be patient to do the application, okay? So this is another thing. You have to be patient looking at other countries, but it's not going to take you a lot of time, guys. It cannot be more. Like, I was trying to apply for a school in Norway. The process of studying in Norway and Sweden is more difficult than the process of studying in Malta. So please put all this into consideration. Again, Malta is very cheap in terms of transportation. If you are moving to Malta, you should know that transportation is quite affordable. In some countries, you may find it difficult, like in Canada, it may be difficult for you and very expensive again. But in Malta, I think with 10 to 12 euros or even 14 euros, you can get a bus card, something like that. But international students pay less when it comes to transportation in Malta. Also, another thing that most countries also do have it, which is also in Malta, is the working hours as an international student. Of course, most countries in Europe and also even in Canada, as an international student, you work 20 hours per week, right? But in Malta, you also work 20 hours per week. So as a student, so this is also another good point to put out there. But one of the reasons you should also know is that accommodation is quite cheap in Malta. In Malta, if you want your comfort, you may be budgeting around 500 to 800 euros. But if you want to share with people, then 300, 350, 250 even can go. It depends also on the location. You can share the apartment with people. Probably maybe you share the kitchen and the toilet, but you have your own separate bedroom. In this case, you can take something for maybe 300, 250, 300, 350. You are good to go. But if you want your comfort, you want your own personal space, be budgeting around 500, 550, 600 even, or even 650 or even 700. So accommodation is somehow affordable, but I think it's somehow affordable compared to places like Canada, US and UK. But looking at it with Northern Cyprus, an apartment in North Cyprus may be around 350 pounds. Looking at it, it's around 400 pounds. Yes, it's also very affordable for a 3-bedroom apartment. But looking at it, Malta now is in Europe, so you cannot be comparing Malta and a country which is not in Europe. North Cyprus is not in Europe. That's what I mean. Then also know that to get a postgraduate work permit in Malta, you have to finish your studies. And when you finish your studies, you are going to get a postgraduate work permit for 9 months, okay? 9 months is the duration given to you to work in Malta, to look for a job. They will give you for 9 months to look for a job. That's when you finish your studies, you have 9 months to stay in Malta to look for a job. Then when you get a job now, you can work and live in Malta fully. Like I already explained to you at the beginning, you have access to more than 25 countries in the Schengen zone, in and out, in and out. If you decide to go on vacation or maybe to take a tour, if you're in Malta, you want to go to Poland, the Netherlands, Germany, maybe other countries, right? In the Schengen zone, you are good to go. Just have your flight ticket and you board the plane. Then also a lot of other advantages in Malta, like remember, you can equally move to Malta using the remote work program. I'm going to bring a video to you very soon on how you can relocate to Malta. There are a lot of schools in Malta, okay guys? I'm going to talk about the schools in Malta, but for now, know that The most common school is the University of Malta, and this school is the biggest in Malta, and it also has a lot of degree programs. But before you apply for a program at the University of Malta, please put a lot of things into consideration. Put the tuition fee, the requirements, and every other thing that you need to know. Remember, when you want to apply for a program in Malta, it's easy. You can also go through emails. You can email the school directly, and when everything is correct, you will get your offer letter, and from your offer letter, you'll be asked to pay a tuition deposit. From the tuition deposit now, when everything is sorted, you have to pay a visa fee to the university. It depends. If they ask you to pay, you pay it. If they say pay to Identity Malta, you are good to go. Then know that your visa is going to be done with Identity Malta. You have the right to check it out. Then you see every other detail by yourself. Some schools will charge you maybe more money. Some will charge $160, pounds, or even euros for visa. Some 180, some 200, but some will take like up to $300 for you to apply for your visa. Remember, to study in Malta, you need to have at least high school qualifications and maybe a degree or a diploma, which is more than your high school qualifications if you want to study bachelor's degree. But if you are going for master's, you need to have a bachelor's degree already. All right. If you are going for PhD, then you need to have a master's degree already. So it now depends on you. Check in your country. If there is no embassy, then you check to see where you can apply for a program. Remember, there are a lot of schools in Malta. I'm going to talk about that very soon at the end of this. HND is not accepted in Malta. That is another thing you should know. And remember, you cannot move with a family from the first go. As an international student, you may only apply for them to join you after 1 year in Malta. So please remember this. And again, you need to pay at least 25% of your tuition fee, 50% of your tuition fee, or maybe even 75%. But most of the time, the schools will ask you to pay just 50% of your tuition fee. Now, I'm going to be taking you to a list of some of the schools in Malta that you need to know, beginning with the very first school, which is the University of Malta. This is the only government school in Malta and the biggest, as I know, with a lot of degree programs. If you are looking for science subjects to study in Malta, I will advise you to take a look at the University of Malta. Now, another fascinating thing you should understand here is that some of these schools in Malta, they do not cost the same. The University of Malta, I think they have programs for like 8,000, 9,000. It depends on you and what you are looking at, okay? But like I said, if you're looking for science programs, go to the University of Malta. The second school I want to talk about is called MCAST. M and Cast. All right, I'm going to drop the links in the video description box and for you to check them. Remember, admissions is not open in all the schools, but majority of them would accept your application now. If you think you qualify, check the requirements on the school website. If you think you qualify, why not? Drop your application, and before you know, maybe February you are in Malta if you are actually prepared. Don't go and start dropping application if you are not readily prepared, guys. Remember, I always say planning and preparation is key to your study abroad journey. In Malta, of course, you are going to work part-time while you study. Then during holidays, you can work full-time. Remember, it's also accessible to Europe. And again, if you are looking at science subjects, check MCAS. And also another school in Malta you need to take note of is called American University of Malta. Now, after American University of Malta, let's take a look at another school in Malta that you need to consider. What is the name of the school? GCM, Global College Malta. A lot of international students are studying in this particular university. And remember, Global College Malta offers postgraduate programs, bachelor's programs, and of course, MSc programs, that's master's programs, and their MSc program costs between 8,900 to like 9,000 euros. I think there are some few programs that go above 9,000. Please verify from the video description box. You can apply now if you think you are qualified, and if you are fast, you can go in, because like I said, visa application takes 2 months, but your admissions can take 2 weeks. Okay, so it depends on you. Just send an email to them, tell them I want to apply this. Everything will be sorted out in as much as you are financially ready, because like I said, master's program costs 8,900 to 9,000. Then BSc programs cost 15,400 to like 20,000. Then postgraduate programs 6,900. Now for BSc programs, remember this is for 3 years. If they are charging you 15,000, know that you have to pay 50% of the first year's tuition. That's 5,000. You have to pay 50% of 5,000, which is 2,500, before you apply for visa. Then MSc programs, you have to pay 50% before you apply for visa, and after visa you pay the balance. Then this is how it operates. This is for Global College Malta, and they are only related to, like, the courses they have or the programs they have are all related to management. So if you're looking for maybe things related to health, maybe other areas, STEM and all the rest, you have to look at University of Malta and MCAS for sciences. But for those who are looking for masters in something related to health, check master's program at MCM, at GCM, which is Global College Malta. All right, visa is not that difficult. The only problem here is the finance. Are you readily available? Are the finance readily available? Remember, proof of funds in the other video I mentioned is close to like 15,000 euros. Yes, you need to have a lot of money, because remember, you just paid just a portion of your fees. You need to prove to them that you have the remaining balance and equally money for your living costs. I hope you understand. Excellent. So Global College Malta has management programs. So in case you are looking for management programs, take a look at this university. The next school you should check is EIE, Institute of Economics, all right, or something like that. So also check most of these schools. Most of them are accredited, all right, because I know international students usually like, are these schools accredited or not? Like the way some people usually say schools in South Cyprus are not accredited, they are not recognized. See, stop listening to people lying to you. You can actually verify these things yourself. How did I know that schools in South Cyprus are accredited? Especially my own school that I attended. Messages upon messages to international bodies. That was when I found out. And after I got my degree, I had to send it somewhere to be sure that actually what I was doing was correct. And that was a fact. That my school was accredited. So you have to then walk in. You don't always sleep on your brain. Try to be very active, out of the box. Think out of the box, guys. So the next school, you can equally check a school like Ascensia Malta. And Ascensia, I think admissions is still open, but they don't have February intake. Okay, if you want to study in Malta from May, is it April, apply. Check Ascensia Malta. They have very few programs. And EIE, they equally have few programs, but again, they are also open. Then looking at the schools, EIE has less tuition, and GCM, Global College Malta, their tuition is a little up above the other schools. Okay, so they are comparing with the University of Malta. So if you are looking at cheap tuition, look at this one, and also look at this school called Global Business School of Malta. They also have very affordable programs, and their tuition is not that expensive like that of Global College. All right, I'm talking about Global Business School Malta, not Global College. Global Business School is quite affordable than Global College Malta, so that is something you should check. Then equally check this school called SBM, that's School of Business and Management. They have some very good programs as well. If you are looking for business related, you can check them out. And they also have a scholarship. I think that should be, is it 25 or 30%? I think there is a scholarship for 30%. That is a 30% scholarship for international students. Not everybody gets it. You can be lucky. Why not? So you can apply for it. If you are lucky, they will give it to you. And before you know, your tuition will be waived. Do not forget, I said there is a qualified scheme. When you finish from studying in Maltese University, you apply for it to get 70% of your tuition fee refunded to you. So this is great news. So guys, this is the update you need, and I think this is the best for you. For those who are still to apply for February, keep pushing, and before you know, February 2024, you are in Malta. I hope